In early August of 2021, Elder Scrolls Arena and Daggerfall developers Ted Peterson and Julian Lefay announced their new studio, Once Lost Games, and their project, the Wayward Realms. The studio aims to revive the spirit of titles like Daggerfall, featuring massive open worlds and a strong emphasis on choices and consequences. In today's video, I will talk about the history of Once Lost Games, Wayward Realms development cycle, what to expect, what is the VGM they are hyping up, Unreal Engine 5, procedural generation and game design, and of course the Kickstarter campaign they have going. Subscribe to the channel and let's begin. All gameplay footage is in pre-alpha stage. If you follow Indigo Gaming and are interested in gaming history, you probably saw Julian Lefay's interview. They discussed in detail about Elder Scrolls. Following this, Ted Peterson also did a similar interview with Indigo Gaming. This rekindled their connection, leading to discussions about their vision for the series they had they continued working on it. These conversations inspired them to create their studio, Once Lost Games. Currently, the studio has around 40 talented members. The Wayward Realms is still in early production, aiming to release in early access in 2025. But since nailing down a specific date is challenging, the timeline will depend on how much funding they raise and how easily they secure additional support after the early access launch. The game is being billed as a spiritual successor to the Elder Scrolls II, Daggerfall. One of Daggerfall's most significant achievements was its procedural generation, which in some ways remains unmatched by modern RPGs. Daggerfall's open world is frequently characterized as wide as an ocean but deep as a puddle, a challenge inherent in procedural generation. As an example of how difficult it can be to pull off, look at other, more recent RPGs featuring it in spades. Not naming anything specific. Starfield! The games are usually fun, but the worlds are completely bare bones. Usually. That tendency may dissuade many fans who prefer smaller, more intricately designed worlds. However, Once Lost Games believe in the potential to refine procedural generation, integrating more memorable interactions and encounters, using it more as a feature and not so much as a replacement for talent. They are utilizing procedural generation to facilitate dynamic alterations within the world, such as the destruction of a town due to political turmoil. This approach enables a dynamic and evolving gameplay experience. The studio intends to use Unreal Engine 5.3's procedural content generation, but will primarily rely on their own systems. Once Lost Games is excited about their virtual game master mechanic as well. But what does that mean? The VGM functions similarly to a tabletop game master, tailoring their game experience around the player's preferences, interactions, choices, and playstyles. For example, a player who enjoys collecting books may receive quests with book rewards to cater to their interests. A melee-focused player may encounter challenges aligned with their combat skills. The aim is to observe the player's journey and offer content aligned with their interests, while avoiding aspects they don't engage with. Additionally, the VGM is responsible for generating new quests based on recent events, NPC interactions, and the player's affiliations with factions. By considering these variables, the VGM ensures each playthrough remains relevant and personalized to the player's adventure. Part of the goal for the VGM is to make sure quests are interesting to the player by including recent events and NPC faction interactions. Sounds like a fun concept. I'm excited to see the final implementation for myself, though. Something I have noticed is that there does not seem to be a singular encompassing main quest. Instead, world events and major factions will boast their own individual grand quest lines. Players will be able to continue their journey beyond these milestones, of course, due to the VGM generating new adventures tailored just for them. It sounds almost too good to be true, and I know we've all been burned before. I am, however, hopefully optimistic. At the time of writing, the Kickstarter has already earned $394,000 of their goal towards $500,000. With 24 days left, the Wayward Realms will likely be funded. It may even go beyond, for some stretch goals, which are currently set for $800,000, $1 million, $1.5 million, and $2 million, with the latter including multiplayer support. You can read about their goals on their Kickstarter page. The link will be in the description.